Hey, I've just been thinking, I really wanted to show you guys kind of behind the scenes on how I design a space from the idea stage into actually ordering and bringing it into the reality of what it becomes. Does that sound like something that would be fun that you guys want to watch? I hope so. So the question of today's video is going to be, what in the design process, at what point do you usually get stumped? Is it the figuring out the style part? Is it the shopping part? Is it the layout part? Is it the selections part? Is it the visualization part? Leave your comments below and let me know. You might want to watch the whole video first and then leave your comment, or if you already know the answer, just based on your struggles, tell me which area you need the most help in. And that could actually springboard us into future videos. So make sure you leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get started with today's video. The very first thing that I do when it comes to designing a space is I go to the room I'm designing and I sit in the room. You really want to sit in the room you're working on and visualize, well, first of all, how does this room currently make you feel? It could make you feel sad, it could make you feel overwhelmed, it could make you feel empty because the room is empty. Anyway, write down the things that it can make you feel, and then write down the ways you want it to make you feel when you're finished with it. So think of things like, you want it to feel cozy. Like for me in the stone cottage, I want that space in the living room specifically to feel cozy. I want it to bring people together. I want it to be a place that people can sit. They can have conversations until the wee morning hours over a bottle of wine. They can sit there with their coffee, looking out the window at the beautiful trees, and have their Bible study or read a good book. I want it to just be like a good hangout spot that doesn't revolve around the television, because I'm not putting a TV in that room. Well, once you decide on what you want to use the space for, how you want it to really be used, that's going to indicate what you put in that room and how you design it. If you don't do that, you end up kind of shooting from the hip, and sometimes that works, but a lot of the time it's just really good to design with intention. And while you're visualizing what you want it to become, you also want to put the hat on and say, what's wrong with this room currently? Where are the holes? So if you guys have furniture currently in the space you're working on, you may be reusing your own furniture that you have. You're not buying all new like I am for this house, because it's a rental property for us. You may be able to identify holes in your space. So you kind of start to see, oh, I really could use a coffee table, or I really could use a side table. You just want to take note of the things that are missing, the areas that you have your holes. That way you can make a plan to fill those holes. Get your measurements. So while you're in the room that you're designing, you want to actually measure for those things. So if in your mind you're like, okay, I need that side table, or I need that plant, or I need that coffee table. Sometimes I have a piece of furniture in mind and I check the measurements online and then I go and measure it out to see if it would fit. Sometimes I don't know and I just want to have the measurements on my computer. So it's like living room, sofa, I have 96 inches by 45 inches or whatever. But it allows for me to kind of have the measurements so that when I reach further steps in this process, I'm not running back to the house, or I'm not trying to get into my kid's room if he's sleeping, or whatever the thing is that you guys are working on. It's just good to have measurements down. Also, you might go to the store, and this has happened so many times. This actually happened with the toilets. I was like, oh no, how much room do we have from here to here to cover up, and blah, blah, blah. And so we had to go back and measure, and it's just kind of a pain. But if you have the measurements on your phone or on your computer, then you can just look it up. Next thing you wanna do is set the vibe. Candle, coffee, water, tea, whatever you like, and music. And I think I've told you guys about this playlist before, but in case I haven't, just trust me, it's so good. It's called the Most Beautiful Songs in the World playlist. But if you ever want to just get in the mood to get stuff done or be creative, that is my go-to. And it has been for years and years, probably 10 years. Step 5 is to pick your inspiration piece or pick your practical piece. So it kind of depends. Let's say you have a piece of art you are in love with and you're like, this is the piece I want to use in this room. That's going to be your inspiration piece. Or it is a living room and you want to dictate the design based on the layout of seating, because you really want to make sure that the room, like this living room I'm working on, I really want there to be great seating options, but I want it to be conversational. And so I'm more driven in this particular project, in this room, by my seating options and allowing some of the furniture practicality to lead my design. Then I do a deep dive into just like browsing the web. The stone cottage style is a lot of, I call biblical chic as like a joke. Not a joke, it is real, but it is kind of like a made up word that a girl I follow, Suzanne, kind of came up with. And I think it is the perfect description of the style that I'm going for. It's also commonly known as cottagecore or English cottage, but there's a modern twist to it. So sometimes I take those styles and I'll use those to lead my search in Pinterest or just on Google and start looking for cottagecore sofas or cottagecore pendant lights or vintage vibe rugs. I kind of start to search along that route. And as I'm searching through Pinterest, through online, through Google, if I see images I like of specific furniture, I will pin it to my board. If I see images I like that are just inspiration, like I love the vibe of this room, I'll probably never be able to find that specific dining table, but I love the idea of the way this room looks, I'll pin it to my board. I kind of allow my research to dictate and kind of lead me down the design path. So here are my different options for my sofa. I've got a leather option, I have a colored option, and I have a cream option. I also have some inspo pictures and some close-up, like vibey decor pictures. This is a specific item I know that I want. This is from Article. How beautiful is this? And then I love that Article on their website, they show you like, you know, in a room so you can kind of get the full vibe. But I just think it's so perfect because it feels kind of vintage. I love the dark wood. You guys know I'm leaning into the dark wood in this project. And it shows me the measurements really easily. So I was able to measure that. I loved it. I can come up here and click pin. I already did this, but I'll just show you. I go down to my actual thing and I can click save and it'll pin it to my board. Oh, I love this rug and it's from Walmart. We're gonna add that to the living room. So I have stone cottage, down to living room, save. Now, if I wanted to get more specific, like I wanted to look at vintage rugs, let's just see. Nice. Oh, this one is really pretty. And most of the time it'll take you to the actual page. Now see how it says $47.99? That's for a 2x3 rug, which obviously we don't want that. So then you gotta go scroll down to the actual size, which for me is probably gonna be more like 8x11. And it is still a decent price, but it's definitely not $26. So don't let that fool you. I'm gonna pin this to my board because I don't wanna forget about it. I don't have to make a decision on it right now, but I certainly don't wanna lose it. So I'm gonna pin it to my living room board and keep scrolling. This one's from Lowe's. That's nice. See, I like how it has a little bit more gray blues in there, not so much orange. 10x13, 9x12. That's a pretty good price for a 9x12. Perfect. Now I'm going to save this guy to the stone cottage, living rooms, saved. Okay. So once I have my Pinterest board kind of all pinned, and again, this is going to be a combo of both inspo and specific products. That's when I start to organize my Pinterest board. So the Pinterest board started off as the stone cottage, right? Then I went in there and I started to make folders. You can select organize, I think is what it's called. And then you can select different pins, create a new folder, and then name that folder something specific. So for me, I did kitchen, or I did lighting, or I did bedroom number 1. That's a king bedroom, or laundry room, or living room, or whatever room you're working on. For me, it's a whole house, so it's a very big board. But then I can take all of those different pieces, put them in their own folders, and now I have some organization to work around. So the next thing I do is I use a program called Canva, and that's how I build out the boards and kind of give myself a little bit more clarity on, okay, I found a light fixture on this website and a bed on this website. Are they gonna go together? So now when I go back to my living room board, if I refresh it, voila, I've got all these new things that I just pinned. I'm gonna click on the items individually. I'm gonna go up to these 3 dots and I'm gonna click download image. Now, sometimes you need to verify, yes, that it saved the right image. So that's the image that I've saved. Now this one may try to save the wrong photo because there's a lot of different options here. Let's see which one it saves. Download image. Oh, it saved it straight on even though it didn't show it on there. I also have this one. I love this one. Then I am gonna save some of my rugs. I'm gonna save this rug. Oh, this coffee table we're gonna save too. Oh, and this guy, my favorite piece of the whole thing. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this piece, but I just really am. Then if I were to go, let's just pull this out as its own thing. And I have my project already going. Let's see, create a folder. I'm gonna call this Stone Cottage Living. Now, it is empty, so now I'm gonna go click all of the ones. We're gonna add these all in. Now Canva is great. It is a free platform. You can obviously pay to upgrade it. You get all sorts of extra features if you do like their upgraded membership. I have their pro, I think it's called a pro membership. I have that one, but it's up to you guys. You could use it for free if you want. So what I've done is I found the color of our wood floors. I added that into my folder here. So now I have my base of like what's going on. Now when I want to lay out what furniture looks good, I want to start with one of my sofa options. I believe this might just be for the pro account, but you can actually edit image and then you can do the background remover right here. And this will actually erase the background of the sofa. So we can actually make a layout on Canva and throw everything together to kind of get a vibe for what it's gonna look like. So this is really good to see what color the sofa looks like with our wood floors. Now, if I didn't do that, I could be leading myself down the wrong path because I'm insinuating that my floor is this light color, which could throw off the whole design if I didn't pull in my floors here. So if you're able to find a similar color, or this is the actual flooring that we used and we matched the color to from the laundry room area and then match the color in the rest of the house. So now I'm able to see, okay, now for me, I'm gonna have a rug in here. Now remember we have these rugs. Now we can pull these in here and kind of see what this looks like. So now I can kind of twist this guy around. You can right click, hit arrange, and then send to back. You can bring it forward one. So now we have it on top of the wood and underneath the sofa. We're gonna pull it here so we could actually see what that would look like. Now, for fun, we can just make this whole thing this color. That's gonna kind of give us a good grounding. Now, when we go into some of my chair options, now we'll kind of find out which one we like the best. We're gonna go to edit image. We're gonna remove the background. Now, sometimes you'll find that, oh, I don't like this chair with this rug. You kind of have to see which one you like better. If I was dead set on the rug, then I would just go ahead and pick a different chair. If I'm dead set on the chair, then I'm gonna look for a different rug, kind of depending on what I need. We have this chair, which is awesome. Let's remove the background on that. Ooh, I like that better than this one. Okay, that one's out. This one is in so far. Now, we also have this guy, remember? My favorite. Now my wall color would also be a good thing to have like a paint chip in here. Oh, I love that. That looks really great with it. Now this we're gonna put up here just for fun, just so we can kind of like keep our eye on it. I'm gonna have to shrink my sofa just for the sake of being able to see everything together. I'm actually gonna make this a little bit smaller. We can actually make our rug a tiny bit smaller. So I kind of just like move it around. Now, the positioning of this chair obviously would flip. It would be facing the sofa in real life. Now, if I were to do a different sofa, like this green one, let's see. This would be an interesting option. Now, if I did that, I could do a leather chair, which this one is really fun. And it's okay. It's a little bit more masculine. This green feels a little bit too bright. I like that it's colored. I think it maybe would do better with a rental, but I also think that leather would do really well with a rental. Okay, so we have this leather sofa. We have this nice chair with a cane background. Now let's look at a coffee table. So this was a coffee table I found online. Let's see what this, I like how it kind of has some distressed wood. I think that's kind of a good mix for this like biblical chic vibe we're going for. The shape is good. I could do a rectangle one as well, but the room itself isn't all that big. Now I have this other rug. Let's just see what this rug would look like. Okay, this one is a little bit springier of a vibe. That one's a little bit more darker. That one's a little bit lighter. I kind of like that one. I think that the coffee table stands out better with it too. To be honest, I would probably get both of these rugs because I know I'm going to use the other rug in one of the bedrooms. But for now, I love the direction that this is going. So for me, I have my seating now. I'm gonna want 2 chairs, and this is fun because see this plus thing? I can duplicate it, and then I can right click and mirror or flip horizontally. There we go. 2 chairs, my coffee table, and my sofa. Ooh, this is nice. A little plant, remove the background. This is where this is great. You know how hard it would be to remove the background behind all those little branches? And look, it does. It does it so well. Pull that in here, that gives it some life. I can also, now these are just like previous folders that I've had for other projects. I can pull in a pillow just to show you the possibilities here. We can like decorate this room and pull it all together. That looks nice. And let's say we want 2, right? Now we got to remove the background on this duplicated one. We got ourselves 2 pillows. That looks good. And then we want to decorate the top of that table. So let's go ahead and add a pot. Not a table, sorry, this sideboard here. We're gonna shrink this guy down because he's not that big in real life. Now you can do this with actual pieces that you find online. This is hard because you have to pay attention to the sizing to make sure that these are actually accurate, like when you're moving, you're resizing stuff. I will say that we do need a little table here. So I would probably use a table like this or a dark wood table. So I'm mixing light woods with dark woods on this project, kind of a lot, kind of all over the place. So we could do this, and now we can see what it would look like to have a darker wood one in there. Now we have the darker wood up here. The legs on this sofa are darker wood. I think I like that. My floors are darker wood. Let's put a little plant on it, you know? Now obviously these are faux plants, which for any house I think would be great, but especially a rental because I'm not gonna be there to water all the time. So far I'm really liking the way this is looking. This may be a little bit too washed out for me, this table. I like the overall style of what I have going on. I just wish it was a little bit darker. And maybe I could buy it and stain it too if it came down to that. But this is kind of where the direction I'm going. Now, something that would be helpful here is also to look at some art. So you guys know I love doing vintage art prints via Etsy. Okay, so now I've got my art here. I'm gonna save this. This is just like a gallery wall smorgasbord. We're gonna get this photo. We're gonna save it, download image, go back to mood board, import, and upload. And this would look really great with it. And what I could do, I'll probably put this over this area. Now we know what this would all look like together, which is kind of fun. And if we wanted to make this bigger now that we can. So that's kind of how I piece things together. So hopefully that kind of gives you guys a window into how I do it. So that's just for one room. I'm working on the whole house this week. And as you guys know, I'm gonna be taking you through when we're at the project, as things are kind of arriving, as I'm doing some DIYs. There's definitely some wallpaper DIYs coming up and maybe some more wood treatments. We'll just kind of see how things come together. But I'm so excited. I've been collecting things along the way that I'm just so excited to like get in this house and actually put it up on the walls. I really hope that watching kind of my process and how I do this will help you guys, inspire you guys to maybe try it for any projects that you guys are working on. And remember, setting intentions, knowing, you know, the game plan and the vision for the space, and having adequate seating or having adequate storage or having a beautiful heirloom art print that you really want to use in your home, allowing that to be the starting point and going from there and designing a really beautiful space. So if you guys are interested in learning more, you guys can go look at our courses, Kinwoven courses. We have a ton of different options. Well, we have 2 different options right now, but we have the design sessions as well. If you're really interested in learning more about interior design, go and check those out. And let me know what you guys thought of this video. Hopefully it was informative and you learned a lot, and it was kind of fun to see a sneak peek at some of the things that will be in the stone cottage very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thumbs up the video and go follow on Instagram because I do post more quickly updated moments over there because it's just easier to get it up there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.